So yeah, hey, I was on mute. I did. I just had a guy who keeps pestering about how to use a Envoy extension in Istio, and I realized we have no or very limited documentation for the Envoy filters. And if I mean, we need to get people to try these Envoy things so we know which Envoy things to make APIs for.
Okay.
That's all.
Um,
Where should we make them? Where should we put them? I didn't want to spend like half an hour trying to come up with a way to do it. It's a direct response, right? You think that'd be a very common thing.
yeah, so there is a wiki page devoted to Envoy filter examples.
Oh, great.
And Quat just listed it there. Let me add that to the notes.
Thank you, Kuat.
So I don't know if there's one for direct response there, but that is the place we should probably.
I always struggle though. Am I making a route? Am I making a listener? It always takes me half an hour to get ready, and then it takes me 2 minutes to do it.
Okay.
Just like a cookbook would be awesome. If there is one, I'm going to point that guy to it, and then I'll try it myself as well.
Okay. I think that wiki page probably needs to be cleaned up because I think there's probably tracing and logging examples there that need to be updated too. But I think you're right. So we should make that more findable. But that's the place to put it. Okay. Was there anything that anyone else wanted to put on the agenda today? Or should we just go ahead with the things I added?
I have one more thing I want to mention.
Okay.
It's short. So I've been getting more into the tracing stuff. Our example for how to set up Jaeger doesn't use correct port for Jaeger, which confused me. Although you don't really need to do it. So I mean, part of it was operator error, but part of it was this confusing thing. And also, I looked at the latest Jaeger and it doesn't work. I'm following up on that with the Jaeger people. So anyway, I guess I'm trying to make myself more of the distributed tracing guy. And I'm going to be making a couple doc PRs to fix that. That is all.
So with regards to Jaeger and tracing, are you sure you're running with the latest 110? Because there was an issue where Envoy was generating invalid timestamps in the Zipkin format. Did we get that?
So yes, I was running with the latest thing, release candidate 0. The problem was that when I did the setup task, it sort of says if you have an external Jaeger, do this. And I, for some reason, did that anyway because of the paragraph formatting. But the instructions for an external Jaeger are wrong in that they define a Jaeger that uses the spans delivered by Thrift and not the Jaeger that for spans delivered by Zipkin. So that documentation piece that installs Jaeger as a service is wrong, and we need to fix it. And I also wanted to upgrade to the latest release Jaeger, and that also doesn't work. So we're using 120, 121 works, 122 does not, and I am in communication with some Jaeger folks at Red Hat about that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm interested in the results of why 122 does not. I had noticed that we were a couple releases behind in our samples, but I didn't.
So myself and I think Jersai from the Red Hat team found the commit, and it's a bunch of command line option changes. Like, I don't know if it's for a good reason, but they changed their flag format. So it's likely that.
Okay. Well, thank you for owning that. That's a big help. I think we have tested tests with Zipkin end to end, but I don't think we did both. And so maybe it's time.
We have a Jaeger test, the Jaeger test verifies that Jaeger is up, but not that it received traces. And I made an
Okay.
issue for that, explaining the problem, but I did not try to fix it because I'm supposed to be fixing a Kiali automated test, and I haven't done my own work yet, so I can't volunteer for a second test not to do.
You're talking about docs test, right? I think there is an end-to-end test too that does the Zipkin, sends traces and pulls them out of an API endpoint. And so maybe it's time to just amplify that and also put a Jaeger in. So if you already have an issue for that, maybe we can add that to that work. And maybe this is something for the roadmap discussion too, which is
right. So that the docs test for Jaeger is pretty good and could be easily made into a end-to-end test. Once it gets this small fix that I want to do or inspire someone to do.
okay. Great. Just let me know if there's more we can do there too. Okay. Well, is there anything else anyone else wanted to raise before we move on to other issues? Okay. I had after last time's discussion about host header fallback, I wrote up this doc. You can open it. I think. Let me see if I can share it. I was just trying to sum up our conversation in sort of a 1 or 2 page format. I think we have general agreement on disabling it, but I think we're preferring doing it for ingress only. So I know, Jay, maybe this is something that might impact Kiali, just in terms of things users might see. So we have to come up with a good set of release notes explaining the difference. But I think this is something we're going to move forward with. So I just wanted to mention that here to follow up on our discussions from last week.
Okay, I'll take a closer look at this one and see what I see.
Great. Okay. Yeah, and the only deadline on that is I'd like to get it in before the cutoff on the 11th, so it gets into the 110 release. But that's a couple days away. And then the other thing that we have to present next week is just the roadmap of things we'd like to get done in the next release. These are the ideas that came up last week. So I just wanted to circulate them again and see if there's anything else that people believe we should be working on or fleshing out or addressing. Ed, you're mentioning testing, I think is important. So I put that down here now. But are there other telemetry related issues? I know for the telemetry API, right, we want to include metrics and logging potentially. So I just wanted to see if there are other ideas, other things that we know that's going on, and that we should address, or if we're happy with this coverage. Okay. Well, I guess if there are no items that are burning, then we should maybe just adjourn, and I will type that up into a more filled out bit of information for the TOC, and then present them on Monday. So I guess that's it. That's all I really wanted to discuss as a group. Unless there's anything else, maybe we should just adjourn. Okay. Well, thanks everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you.